I'm doing enough. Like, just know that you're doing enough. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Kasiibe. If you're new here, I do videos on medical school education, being an RN, how I work while in medical school. So if you're interested in stuff like that, please subscribe and like. And if you're not new here and you've been here the entire time, thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate your likes and your comments. So today I'm just going to dive right into the 5 things I wish I knew before starting medical school. The big one is I wish I moved here 2 months before actually starting school. Because I moved from out of state from Maryland, repping my city. I moved from out of state from Maryland. I moved right when school resumed. So my things were still in Maryland, and then I came for orientation, and that weekend I had to go back to actually drive my things down to Indianapolis. I wish I didn't do that. I wish I moved like a month before, settle in the community, know where like even the grocery store is, where to get my oil change, where I can buy gas consistent, like just basic stuff like that. Just establishing a community. A lot of students moved a month before, they were already friends, they know each other and stuff like that. I wish I did that, because that way I fully understand the community, explore the city without the stress of like medical school, see what Indianapolis is all about. But I couldn't do that when I eventually moved, because school already resumed. I was trying to navigate being a medical student, and then there's no time to now be like, oh, let me go see what Indianapolis is all about, let me go explore this. No, I'm stressed. While school was on, I was trying to fix my apartment, arrange my apartment. That also stressed me out. So my advice, if you have the funds, because finances are a big thing when it comes to these decisions, if you have the finances to actually move a month before school resumes, I think you should go for it, especially if you're going from out of state. Like if you're in state, it is what it is. You can always drive to school or whatever and see what the environment is like. But if you're coming from out of state, please, at least at the latest 2 weeks before, at least, if you can do a whole month, so you just know where things are. Because that really threw me off. The first month I was here, I was going to classes and still trying to fix up my apartment, because I moved my things from Maryland to Indianapolis. I was supposed to like selling my things and just buying new things when I got here, which again I didn't think about. So well, that's number one. The second thing I wish I knew before starting medical school is to always choose me. Because the thing about medical school is that you will always have an exam. Like even when you're on holiday, you're not truly on holiday. There's an exam waiting for you in the near distant future. So if you're constantly studying on holidays, during school, outside of school, every time, that's all you will be. You need to establish meaningful connections. You don't want to sit back and look and all you did was study. You didn't enjoy the process. You have to find a way to enjoy the process, make meaningful friendships and connections. And you also have to choose yourself every time. You also have to choose to put your mental health first. I say that to say you can't take care of somebody else if you yourself are not feeling fine. Do you understand? So therefore, don't be sacrificing your hobbies, don't be sacrificing your rest because, oh, you have this exam, yeah. You will always have an exam. You will be fine. I promise. As long as you're a good medical student, you understand the material, you have good morals, you're an ethical person, I think you'll be okay. So just find a way to find that sweet spot where you are still enjoying yourself, right? And you're still acing in medical school, and you're still building meaningful connections. Like you're not losing in any area, you're enjoying the entire process, because that is what it takes to be a successful, in my opinion, a successful medical student. Because like if you're just focused on study, or you're focused on just enjoyment, like where's the balance? You have to have that sweet spot. So that would be my second advice, which I took more seriously in first year. Now I'm doing it. I have my balance. I have a spreadsheet where everything is allocated. On Saturdays, come rain, come shine, I do not study. Exam or not, I don't study on Saturdays. Saturdays are for self-care, catch up on my series. Whatever I choose to do on Saturdays, that's my business. and then I pick up whatever is left on Sunday. I go back to studying. If I have any assignments due, I post them or review them. If I have a lecture that I really want to watch real quick, I do that. I also always try to be ahead of class. We have a calendar in school that tells us what lecture we're supposed to watch, what day we're supposed to watch it. So I try to be at least one day ahead of lectures. So let's say on Monday I'll do all the lectures for Tuesday. On Tuesday I'm doing all the lecture on Wednesday. So I'm always ahead. So that's why I can actually afford to take Saturday off, because by the time I get to Friday, I'm already doing lectures for Monday. So I'm always one day ahead. If you can find a sweet spot like that, I think you should be fine. But please don't sacrifice your mental health. Like, for real. Choose you. Nigerians will say, now only person with their life they enjoy. So you can't get this physician degree if you are not with us anymore, or if your mental health was so depressed that you can't continue. So find the balance. I promise you there is a sweet spot. Find it. The third thing I wish I knew is FOMO, fear of missing out. At first I always thought, that's fake, it doesn't happen, until it happened to me, right? I'm on Instagram scrolling, and I'm seeing my friends just living their best life as a group. They're out, they're doing brunch, they're doing housewarming, baby showers. I used to always be present, like in all of these events. No matter the state my friends live, I'll fly out there for, to show support. They fly out to meet me too. And lately, I just noticed that, maybe not lately, when I started medical school, I noticed that they stopped, I wouldn't say stop inviting me, but like they reduced the invitation. And I had a whole conversation with them about it. Coming to find out, it was because they were concerned that I would feel bad because I couldn't make it. And they also understand that I'm not working while in medical school. It might be too expensive to keep flying for a housewarming in Maryland, a baby shower in Dallas, or a 30th birthday in Houston. To spare me feeling guilty, they just wouldn't. I guess they would just tell me in passing, like, oh, you don't have to come, it's fine, if you like, we would love you to be there. So now we have an agreement where they need to invite me no matter what, and I'll decide what I can or cannot attend, if that makes sense. So that's the agreement. But like, I take crazy breaks off of Instagram because I'm not about to be stressed on my own phone. I'm just not. So if I feel like I'm missing out a lot in events in my friend's life, or they're having too much fun without me, and I'm just studying, I just delete Instagram just to have peace of mind. Another thing that I do is I do a zoom in. I zoom in with my friends when they're out, and so it feels like I'm there, but I'm not there, but I still, it looks like as if I'm participating. I'm not truly left out. So that's if I have time, I'm done studying with all my assignments. But yeah, really curb that FOMO, because it's real. It is real. You're always studying. When you're not studying, you're volunteering, because you have to be a well-rounded medical student. You can't just study and that's all you do. You have to be well-rounded. So if you're not studying, you're volunteering. If you're not volunteering, you're doing something else, assignments. There's always something for you to do. So sometimes you do feel like you're missing out on the best parts of your 20s, your 30s. That brings me back to my second point of finding a way to indulge, so you're not having fun the entire process, or you're missing out on holidays, or missing out on big events in your family's life, like weddings, like maybe like housewarming might be a stretch, but like a wedding, your brother's wedding or your sister's wedding, that's kind of something you have to go to, So, and most schools, for the most part, have a way to accommodate that, even while you're doing rotations and residency. So find that balance. Find it. And delete Instagram if you have to. If you're really feeling depressed that you're wasting all your years, and you're really feeling like you're missing out and you're stressed over that, just delete the whole Instagram, at least for like 2 weeks or a couple weeks, and maybe focus on a different website, like a different social media, if you have to have like comic relief from social media. Because personally, I take breaks from Instagram a lot, and when I take those breaks, what I do is I just download TikTok and I focus on TikTok. Good thing about TikTok is I don't know anybody on TikTok. Like the people I follow on TikTok, I've never met them in my life. I've never seen them in my life. So I don't feel like I'm missing out because I don't know them. They should go out. I just take what I can from their experience and enjoy it. So, but unlike Instagram, where those are actually my friends, and that I usually hang out with. Now I'm seeing them doing all these things and I'm not involved. You know, I'm a little bit like, well, I am kind of missing out. So I just delete Instagram for peace of mind, because again, I'm not about to be stressed on my own phone. So delete, 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 delete. Number 4 on some things I wish I knew before I started medical school is making non-medical friends. When we start this whole journey about medical school, you automatically find yourself in this medical cocoon where everybody is just med students. All your friends are med students. All your associates, colleagues, or whatever you want to call them, are med students. And constantly just doing stuff with medical students. And trust me, that's good for your mental health, because they understand your schedule. When you say you can't come out, they get it. You need to study or you need to do an assignment, they get it. As opposed to like maybe people that are not in the medical school or medical field, when you tell them you have to do this, you have to do that, they're looking like, they always act like you're too busy. But you need non-medical friends, because that brings you down to earth. It makes you realize that medical school is not everything. There's so much more life out there outside of this cocoon that I found myself in. You get to explore, you get to see other things that people are doing and their own point of view outside of like just the medical field or somebody in medicine. So that's why me personally, I would like a life partner that is in the medical field, or maybe not a physician. You know, it gives me, if they're in corporate America, it gives me the juicy gist of corporate America, or I could see life from their lens. Also, my household could be rich with diversity when it comes to career. So like my kids don't have to be forced into going into medical field or being a physician. They could really explore all hemispheres of this world, like without the pressure of, oh, mom and dad are physicians, so I have to follow in their footsteps. No, you know? And I feel like that happens a lot with people that are in medical field, like both parents are physicians. Most of their children end up being physicians too. I wonder if they really explored everything out there or just chose something easier because that's what their parents did. So if I have a partner that is in a different line of work, that keeps the diversity rich and we're not stressed over the same things, and I could get comic relief from what corporate America is like, or whatever the IT world is like, or whatever field is in, whatever that's like. I feel like that keeps things exciting. Anyway, I'm not an expert in meeting friends, making friends, but if you are new to a city, a new state, or a new city, and you're looking to make friends, a few recommendations that are legal would be trying this app called Meetup. It's not a dating app or nothing of that nature. It's just like an app where you could, whatever age you are, you could meet people in that age group. They have groups for like 20s, group for like 30s. They go out for brunch, they go out for yoga, hiking, whatever you guys choose. And then you also try, if you are religious, maybe you're a Muslim or you're a Christian, you could try going to a church or a mosque and meeting other people that way. You could attend different community events. Like for example, I just started attending this thing called Indie Ambassadors. Apparently it's like people my age that just volunteer. They do like events. When there's sporting events, they do sporting events. When there's a charity event, they help out with the charity event. And I meet a lot of people my age there, or at least within my age group, that are outside of the medical field. So I think that you can make friends that way too, that are not medical field personnels. And another thing would be like joining a gym and going for like a group thing. So maybe they have like a group yoga or a group Zumba class, stuff like that. Going for that, you can also meet friends. So that's my recommendation. At least that's the way that I think that I've met people that haven't been in the medical field. Maybe not friends, but people that haven't been in the medical field. Another thing I wish I knew before starting medical school is realizing that I am enough. I am doing enough. Because every time, I'm telling you, like unfailingly, every time before the semester starts, or even during the semester, I have this conversation with myself saying, oh, you need to do more, you need to participate more, you need to volunteer more, you need to just do more, study more, spend more time with your classmates, all of that stuff. When in reality, I barely get 4 hours of sleep a night. I'm always in front of my computer studying. I eat maybe like twice a day, if anything, and not even real food most of the time. I'm doing enough. So like, remember that you're doing enough, because trust me, you will see other students doing so much that you have to question yourself, like, don't we all have the same 24 hours? How are they able to do this and you are not able to do this? What are you doing? You think that you're not being efficient with your time, but the thing you have to realize is that there are people in this place. Everybody here has type A personality. Like, maybe not type A personality, but everybody here is on it. Everybody here is brilliant. Everybody in medical school is brilliant. They know their stuff. They're like the top of their class coming here, just as you were. So therefore, they know like what to do, when to do it, how to do it. And everybody doesn't have the same, everybody has the same 24 hours, but everybody doesn't have the same 24 hours at the same time, if that makes sense. Let me give you an example. Someone that has a photographic memory, right? Or someone that just needs to read something once, or just needs to listen to an audio once and they get it. It's different. That 24 hours for them is different from somebody that has to read something 3 times just for it to stick. It's different from someone that has to read something, watch the video, read it, and then still practice questions before they get it. They're 2 different 24 hours. Because you put in extra work just to get your material. It doesn't make you any less smart, doesn't make you not brilliant or not worthy of being a physician. So please be kind to yourself and remember that you're doing enough. You don't know what their timeline was and all of that. And there's some people that their undergrad major was neuroscience. This is revision to them. This is literally revision to them. Like, they're revising, they are having the time of their life. You can't compare your 24 hours to that person. Do you understand? They know the material. You need to get to know the material, and you're doing enough. If all you do really is wake up in the morning, go to class, study, eat, come back and study again, and that's all you do, you're doing enough. If all you do is try to pass your exams and stay in medical school the entire 4 years, you are doing enough. You are doing enough. So don't beat yourself up that you're not doing enough, yada yada yada. If you have time and all you can do is give 1 day a week, maybe a couple hours, 4 hours to volunteering, do that. If you don't, then you don't. That's not going to stop you from being a physician, because at the end of the day, if you are able to do all those things and you're not able to pass your exam, you will get kicked out. Straight up. You fail twice, you're out. Like, legit. So what sense will it make doing X, Y, Z and you're not passing classes? No sense. So my dear, if all you did today or the entire medical school was try to pass classes and move to the next level, it's fine. It's okay. There will be many opportunities to volunteer. There will be many opportunities to do more. When that time comes, just take full ownership of it. But for right now, you are doing enough. Some people just have more energy. They are better at time management. They are better at studying. They already understand the material. They already understand themselves. And that's another thing you have to understand. In medical school, you cover different topics, everything. So many topics. Not all of them will interest you. Some of them you might really struggle because you have no interest. I, for one, during neuro, I don't like, even as a nurse, I never liked neuro. It's not like I couldn't understand it. It just was too many moving parts and it used to affect so many areas of the body. I never truly fully got it. So when I got to medical school, I struggled a bit with that part because I had to spend extra time reading neuro just so that I could understand what I needed to know. Because even if I decide to go work as an anesthesiologist or in the OB, I may in my career come into contact with somebody that has like a having neuro symptoms. I have to be able to say, this looks like yada yada yada, so I'm going to refer you, or I'm going to send you, at least be able to do that part instead of just not knowing at all. So just know that everything in med school is not going to be of interest to you, and sometimes you might struggle with one course more than you struggle with another, that kind of a thing. So just give yourself grace. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and send to your family and friends. If there's anything that you guys want me to cover, nursing school, medical school, immigration, working as a nurse, please let me know in the comments below. And see you guys in the next one. Bye.